Hey everybody, Jumtif. Today's Yitzhak Kislev. It is the day that the Alter Rebbe went free from jail. He was incarcerated in Tsarist Russia for spreading Chassidus and enlightening Jewish thought. And not only physically was he incarcerated because of the Tsar, but also we have it in legend that for a spiritual sense, the Malachim put a gzeira, they put a kitrug on him for spreading Chassidus. He said, you're taking our most holiest, precious gem and you're spreading it everywhere to everyone. And sometimes the Malach even went down to the Beis Medrash once, and he sees a pamphlet of Chassidus laying on the floor, and he says, look, they're taking your most beautiful gem, and they're leaving it on the floor. And there was that kitrug on him. That's why he went to jail. And the Alter Rebbe had to contend with these Malachim. It's reminiscent of how Moshe, when he wanted to take the Torah Milmaila from the heavens and bring it down here, that the Malachim said, hey, this is a holy thing, a spiritual thing. It belongs up here. Shemaim, Shemaim la Hashem. There was, the Torah was up there, and this world was, for man, but the Torah, it was two separate planes. And Moshe had to contend with them and say, no, the Torah was written for man, and it was written for this world, and he had to do a whole, battle with them, and he got the Torah to be brought down. And in a similar vein, the Alter Rebbe also, he had to give a mashal. He said that there was a king, and he had his son who got very, very sick. And the king sent out doctors across the land trying to find a cure for his son. And they came back, and nobody had any ideas of what to do. There was one doctor who said that I know that the crown jewel, the main jewel in your crown, if you grind it and make a solution out of it and drip some drops into your son's mouth, a lot of it could end up on the floor, some of it will end up in his shirt, but if even a few drops go in, maybe there's a chance that he will be healed. And the advisors were like, no, you can't grind the crown jewel. No way. And the king said, of course I must grind this crown jewel, because what's it all worth if my son dies? What's all this crown and this jewel, what's it all worth? And in a similar vein, he tells Hashem and he tells the angels, he says, you can keep your crown jewel up L'maila, but what will that do for the Jewish people? And if they get assimilated and disappear into obscurity, then what does it do good to have that gem up in Shemaim? And he was freed from jail, and he was given the green light to go and spread Chassidus, and now, Baruch Hashem, we have the philosophy and the ideas of the Alter Rebbe, and he has shared it with us in his book, The Tanya. The Tanya is a compilation of sources from all over the place. The Alter Rebbe calls it Likutei Amarim, that he got sources from the Shalah, from the Arizal, from the Maral, from Chai Vital. He has all these sources from the Gemara, from Chumash. He puts it together to answer the questions. Who are we? What are we made out of? What is a soul? Where are we being pulled? We're being pulled towards physical desires and towards, purpose and meaning. And how does that work in our lives? And the Alter Rebbe explains that for the average man, the Beinoni, for the person who is, basically good and wants to do what's right, he has urges, he has to contend with this world, and he has, a physical side to him, but he is part spirit. There's a godly piece inside of him, and he's being pulled upward. So how do we deal with that? The Alter Rebbe will give us a long way and a short way to understand how we can connect, how we could align our thoughts, our speech, all the things we do, how we could align that with the godly mission, the godly purpose. And the entire first part of Tanya is focused on that, and it comes from the pasuk Kikar v'lach adavar that it's very close to us to have this relationship with God, that we can align ourselves. But how is it possible? How, if we are so drawn towards, in our basic makeup, we are drawn towards physicality, how is it easy to go and rewire our entire framework to go be our thoughts only spiritual and godly, our speech and our actions? So he gives us the long and the short way. The long way, he explains, is by doing a hispainus, by getting into a meditative state to understand clearly the idea that God runs this world and that he put us here to be a link between the physical and the spiritual, to raise up the physical and to draw down the spiritual and to make this a home for him. If we really burn this into our brains, then we will be drawn towards lining ourselves up with the cosmic mission. And the short way is that we all have within ourselves a latent and subconscious love for God. We got that from the Avis Lagash. The Alter Rebbe will go into this in Tanya. We'll get there. I hope to do this on a daily 5-minute video. So stay tuned, and we'll hear about the journey, on how we journey through. So yeah, exciting stuff. We'll see you all tomorrow.